investigates whether a building in the Bronx housed a musical revolution. In 1977, President Jimmy Carter surveys a landscape of burnt homes, vacant buildings, and gray slums. To an aide, he says, see which areas can still be salvaged. The president is in the South Bronx, a written-off area of New York City falling into urban decay. In the 1970s, it looked like a civilization on its deathbed. But a New York City resident thinks a building that once stood against that blight gave birth to a brand new culture. I've come to meet Elvin Reyes and hear more of his Bronx tale.
Hey, what's up?
Man, all right, how you doing?
You have a lot of vinyl here. Actually, I've been collecting for about 30 years or so. That's my love. That's who I am.
Elvin uses his turntables for part-time jobs as a disc jockey and to satisfy a full-time passion, hip-hop. He caught that fever as a teenager, watching DJs perform in neighborhood parks in the Bronx during the 1970s. Elvin has a photograph of a building where he believes hip-hop originated.
Building is 1527 Avenue. The myth is that this is where it started, with this DJ named Kool Herc.
Elvin explains that a popular DJ from Jamaica named Clive Campbell, also known as Kool Herc, lived at 1520 Sedgwick during the 1970s.
And this is in the Bronx.
Yeah, definitely.
According to local legend, Kool Herc threw a party at the Sedgwick building, exciting the crowd with a unique turntable style, a key part of hip-hop today.
When?
It was August 11th, 1973.
Oh, you have an exact date.
Yeah, you know, if you're really into hip-hop, you more or less know the date.
Is the building still there?
Yeah, it's still there, definitely.
Elvin suggests catching a Harlem Heritage bus tour that makes a ritual pilgrimage to the Bronx.
We're gonna have some fun today or what?
MC Greg Nice, a freestyling star from hip-hop's golden age, takes passengers to hip-hop hotspots around New York.
We're on our way to the boogie down Bronx, the home of hip-hop.
Hip-hop is an African-American phenomenon, like the blues and rock and roll. It's also a multi-billion-dollar global industry that includes not just music, but fashion, film, and electronics, creating international superstars and hip-hop moguls. But as a sociologist, I know unearthing hip-hop's roots, now mired in decades of oral history and urban legend, will be a challenge.
On tape here at the home of Kool Herc.
Greg also recounts the tale of the DJ's party to tourists on the bus, but can't say for sure if this is where it all started.
I do believe it's hard to tell. As far as like history is concerned, there ain't nobody else around with a piece of paper to say this was going on this day or this was going on that day.
And you think a lot of the pieces came from a lot of different places?
I love her, but I believe it's just so many different areas and different things that it came from. It's so hard to say one. That's my opinion.
I'm gonna keep up with this tour.
Okay, I'm gonna stay here and check this out.
All right, later.
All right.
Elvin and I part ways, and I get my first good look at 1520. The high-rise stands before an imposing expressway and the Harlem River. More high-rises line the avenue to the left and right and behind.
Actually, the building itself looks rather plain. The facade is brick. I mean, the thing that was interesting to me was what Greg Nice had to say. I mean, here's a guy who's been in hip-hop for a couple of decades, and he was raising doubt that hip-hop was born at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue.
First, I want to find out about this party. Kool Herc wasn't available to meet, but my office has found this rare footage from the early 1980s that shows the self-promoting DJ in the Bronx with trademark oversized speakers.
When Kool Herc gave a party, everybody be there.
He's clearly a hip-hop pioneer, but can a single party really give birth to an entire cultural style? I'm meeting with Curtis Sherrod, the executive director of the Hip Hop Culture Center of Harlem. He explains that hip-hop is a lot more than music.
Okay, now what is hip-hop? Hip-hop's a culture. It comprises a bunch of elements. The first element being graffiti. Second element being DJing. Third element being breakdancing. Last element being the MC.
I'm trying to find out if there is some truth to the legend, to the story, that hip-hop was actually born on August 11th, 1973 at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx.
That's the home that Kool Herc invented hip-hop at. Yeah.
Now, what exactly did he do?
He threw a party, man, and his party was a little different than your typical party. It wasn't.
Curtis tells me that it was at a house party in 1973 when Kool Herc is believed to have taken his Jamaican DJing style, big speakers, and percussive funk music and added his own Bronx twist.
What I understand, Herc just take that hot part of the record and prolong it.
Curtis says that at the now legendary Bronx Jam on August 11th, Herc saw the crowd dance most intensely during the instrumental break and used two turntables and copies of the same song to keep that break going.
Now you got people who are really hearing the beat and they're so inspired, they're expressing it on the floor. Boom, explosion, hip-hop. Come on, man, let me show you what these we got cracking here.
The center's musical director, DJ Silva Surfa, offers to show me how Herc manipulated the music tracks.
You take a nice intro like this, right? And you can just tease them down.
Silva Surfa tells me Herc also talked over the break, called MCing, to engage the crowd.
Now, fellas, you got more than $5 in your pocket. Say, make money, money, make money, money, money. Make money, money. That was a big one because everybody was supposed to be making money. So they go make money, money, money. And they look at the girl on the side and say, that's me. I'm going to cue you up right there. Now count it off. 2, 3, 4. You see what I'm saying? It's a start, y'all. It's a start. I'll see you in 6 months. I'm on my way, man. I'm on my way.
Curtis and Silva Surfa are convinced that Kool Herc threw a party at which a new kind of musical performance was introduced, but neither can offer me proof that it actually happened. I'm heading to Fordham University in the Bronx to meet the Associate Director of the Urban Studies Program, Mark Nason. He explains how the historically middle-class Bronx was being transformed in the early 1970s.
The Bronx in the 1940s and 50s was a suburb where a lot of upwardly mobile Black and Latino families moved. Among these were jazz musicians, teachers, and postal workers. And for about 20 years, the Bronx was the most integrated community in the United States. Then a deterioration sets in.
He tells me that the expressways across from 1520 Sedgwick are part of a network of superhighways built by urban planner Robert Moses. Those roads split long-standing neighborhoods, decreased property values, and accelerated the post-war flight of many white residents for the suburbs. At the same time manufacturing jobs were moving out of the Bronx, tens of thousands of mostly poor immigrants were moving in.
The Black and Puerto Rican population who's been there for 20 or 30 years who can't get out is now the dominant population, but there is a new immigration as a result of the 1965 immigration laws. A great many Jamaicans are moving to the Bronx, and this journal points out in 1964 there are 2,000 Jamaicans coming to the Bronx, and it goes up to 17,000 in 1967. And ironically, that is the year that Clive Campbell comes with his family to the Bronx.
He says that Kool Herc was part of this influx of new faces, arriving just as the community was overrun by a heroin epidemic, gang violence, and arson.
The Bronx is burning. You actually started seeing landlords burning their buildings to get insurance money.
Now, what did that do then to the social dynamics of what was going on?
It created this tremendous sense of fear that was compounded by a city fiscal crisis, which led to closing of schools, closing of firehouses, closing of police stations.
Dr. Nason is also familiar with the story about 1520 being the birthplace of hip-hop.
Herc's music fit the psychology and lived experience of young people growing up in the Bronx. And that was the big bang that started hip-hop. The sound created there, that pounding rhythm, is something that's still capturing the imagination of young people all over the world. I've just come back from Berlin and Barcelona, where hip-hop is the vehicle of expression for so many young people, particularly their immigrants and their poor people.
But Dr. Nason can't prove the party at 1520 Sedgwick did happen. And like Curtis, he knows that hip-hop culture is more than just DJing.